Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Opening Law in the Relationship Advice subreddit. The post is titled, "I went to the strip club with my GF and it was a disaster. I really regret going there now. It was my girlfriend's idea to go. She had brought it up a few times when she was drunk, but I always brushed it off. Last weekend, she brought it up again, sober this time. She wanted to go to a strip club together with me, and it had been on her mind for a long time. She said she was super curious. So yesterday we went there together after lots of talking and making sure she was okay with it. We didn't have any rules. Anything that happened we would discuss while we were there, and we would only do stuff we were both okay with. We arrived and just chilled at the bar for a bit. We watched from a distance. She then asked me if she could buy a dance. I was cool with this, and we picked out a girl together and she got a dance. She was enjoying it. The girl seemed to like it, and to be honest, I thought it was really hot. We talked for a while with her until she needed to go on stage. Now my girlfriend says I should get a dance too. I was hesitant, but asked her if this was okay with her, and she assured me she was. I just sat down, and my girlfriend went looking for a girl and came back with a pretty brunette. She bought me a dance, and I was sort of enjoying it, still feeling a little bit nervous with my girlfriend around, but her eyes were glued on us and she was smiling. The girl put my hands on her body, and I looked at my girlfriend and she nodded. When it was finished, we started talking again, and the girl asked my name. I told her, and guess what? We used to know each other. She's the younger sister of an old friend of mine from about 6 years back. I had only seen her a few times at his house, and we met briefly. I didn't recognize her, and it never once crossed my mind it could be her. She was all excited and whatnot, but I saw my girlfriend was pissed, so shortly after, we got out of there after saying goodbye. As soon as we were outside, she was mad. I swear I didn't recognize her, but she wasn't buying it and kept asking about our history. She wanted to check my phone because the girl was too flirty and was too comfortable around me, and she already felt like something was off. She told me we were playing an act. When I got home, I got a Facebook request from the girl right when my phone was on the table, and this pissed my girlfriend off even more. She swears the girl and I knew what was going on, but honestly I didn't. I can't speak for the girl, of course. Any ideas on how to fix this? We've been together for almost 2 years and are living together. I just ended up sleeping on the couch because otherwise we would have been arguing all night. She brought it up again today, and she's still convinced I'm playing games with her and even said I was already seeing this girl. Honestly, I don't know where to go from here. She refuses to believe me and is convinced she's right. I'm thinking of maybe sitting down with the girl and my girlfriend so she can help me out. I do want to add, this is completely out of character for her. I've never seen her act like this. Right now, I'm just waiting until she's home from her mom's. Update. Thanks to everyone who weighed in last time. It helped me see things a bit more clearly. After she came back home, she was still upset. She didn't want to talk about it, and obviously I did. When I tried bringing it up, she got mad and at one point literally told me to shut the fuck up. That kind of hurt, to be honest, and in return, I got annoyed. I told her that we were going to discuss this right then, but she refused. So I just left and went to stay at a friend's place. When she found out where I stayed, she blew up again because that friend is a girl. I didn't reply to anything until she said she wanted to talk the next day. So I came back home and she apologized, but it felt super forced and insincere. Still, she solely blamed me for the strip club fiasco, saying I should have known it was her and that I intentionally didn't recognize her. Long story short, I broke up with her. There was only drama for the past few days, and I was and am sick of it. I'm not about to sleep on the couch for the rest of our lease, so we still sleep in the same bed, but I don't care. She has tried to make amends and has been all cute and stuff, but I'm just tired of it. As far as I'm concerned, we're done. She hasn't seemed to accept this and tries to keep acting like nothing happened and do couple stuff. I don't really talk to her, though I think she's starting to slowly realize it's over and she's been crying and apologizing. I don't see us getting back together. I'm still blown away by everything that happened. I've never seen her act like this in 2 years. I have to survive 1 more month here. I can't really crash anywhere for more than a few days. She won't allow it, so that's it. The Spotted Bunny said, I do not miss being 20. To this, Shemjaza said, imagine if you and everyone you know were young, pretty, and had heaps of time, but the price was that everyone was broke and impossibly stupid. Annoyed Teacher said, I remember years ago, I stayed friends with a guy who I was previously friends with benefits. He got a girlfriend and I was happy for him. One night he called me super late. They had a row and he asked if he could stay at my place. I was like, although nothing would happen if you stayed, if you value this relationship, you'll find a male friend to stay with, not me. Don't be an idiot. He listened. They eventually did break up, but months later and without me involved. Edit. I have never ever had this many likes or comments on one of my comments before. I didn't mean to start anything about gender. The advice I gave him is not universal advice I'd give to everyone, regardless of sexual orientation. I wasn't a close friend to him. He was clearly trying to stay with me in a moment of anger to upset his girlfriend. I told him to stay with a male friend to stop this stupid idea in his head of upsetting his girlfriend in that way. This does not mean I believe men and women can't be friends or men and women can't ask each other for help. It means don't call someone you've already slept with trying to make your partner spend the whole night worrying or being jealous. So what I said to him only applied to him. This next post was made in the AITA subreddit by a user named Proper Meringue. The post is titled, I told my niece that the family does not like her fiance and that I won't be at her wedding. There is a 21-year age gap between me and my eldest brother, which means I and his oldest daughter are very close in age and have grown up very close. I am very much the favorite aunt and have always considered us friends, not just family. She comes to me when she has problems she doesn't want to talk to her parents about. She tells me about her boyfriend and friend problems. She would call me when she was in college and needed to be picked up from a party or bar. I was the first person she told when her boyfriend proposed, even calling me at 6 a.m. the morning after because she was so excited. Some context on her fiance. They have been together for 3 years and he is 1 year younger than her. She graduated college in May 20th, 24, and he is on track to graduate in May 20th, 25. They have their wedding scheduled for just a week after his graduation. He is studying biochemical and microengineering and is very smart, more on the introverted side with dry humor. Since she introduced him to the family, we could tell they are serious and tried to be as welcoming as possible, inviting him to family events and trips, getting him birthday and Christmas presents, and genuinely trying to get to know him. Whenever he is around our family, he acts annoyed all the time, as if it's painful to spend time with us. He expects my niece to stay by his side the whole time, getting annoyed if any of the little cousins ask her to play, including my children. He expects her to leave at the same time as him, even if they drove separately. My eldest brother constantly advocates for him, saying he's just introverted and that the size of our family makes him uncomfortable. He insists he's different in smaller groups or one-on-one, but I haven't seen that, even when it was just the two of them with myself and my husband. He talks to everyone like we are stupid and is extremely condescending. When they got engaged, things got worse. Since we are close, I was expecting to be asked to be part of the wedding party, but she did not ask me. I was a little hurt, but chose to let it go because it's her special day and her choice. Then his family planned the engagement party and didn't invite any of my family. She explained that it was just a small affair with just their parents and siblings, but I later found out she lied when I saw pictures on social media. I confronted her about that, but she said she didn't plan the guest list, so I tried to let that go too. Then she didn't invite me or my mom to her dress outing, saying it was a limited number of people allowed and she wanted to make sure his mom and sisters could come with her. After that, I told her it really seemed like she was trading our family for his family. She said she wasn't, but when I asked him later how they planned to spend holidays, he said they'd spend them with his family. My last straw was over December and January. In December, she invited me and my husband for dinner. I was excited because she hadn't initiated hanging out since her engagement. Dinner was nice, a little awkward since conversation wasn't smooth with her fiance, but pleasant enough. When the check came, my husband took care of it after it sat on the table for about 15 minutes and they didn't offer to split or pay, even though they invited us. When we were ready to go, they asked if we could have a serious conversation. I was confused why we didn't have it during the meal, but they proceeded to ask us for money to pay for their wedding. She said it was turning out to be more expensive than they thought and they needed help since their parents don't make enough. I asked why they didn't wait until he was working and not just in an unpaid internship or until she got a full-time job instead of a part-time job. I said I wasn't saying no, but just wanted to understand why they wanted to have their wedding so fast. That conversation devolved into an argument about financial responsibility where her fiancé said if we can help, then we should because it's family. He followed up by saying we have plenty of time to save when my husband explained a lot of our money was invested for our children's future. After we offered $2,000 as a little something to help, my niece brought up my savings from my deceased husband's life insurance. I asked if she really thought bringing up my deceased husband was going to help her. We then repeated our offer of $2,000 and he asked if that was really all we'd give them, so we withdrew the offer. We left enraged. Before Christmas, my mom invited them over to bake because the fiancé enjoys baking desserts and bread. He was so rude to her throughout that she came over for some grandkid time and tea because she was so sad. My dad was pissed. Neither my niece nor fiancé came to Christmas. We had a family get-together around New Year's, and when we were driving two of my brothers and their wives home, we had a conversation about how sick everyone was of the fiancé and how we wished they weren't getting married. Finally, in January, it was my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. I planned a party for them, and then we were going to Mexico, which was group financed by myself and my siblings for our parents. The fiancé was only coming to the party as he couldn't miss school for Mexico. The party was fancy, RSVP invitations, private venue, catered, semi-formal dress code. A week before, my niece texted me and let me know the fiancé wasn't going to come to the party because of a fraternity event. I told her this was an important family event, and on top of that, it was rude to skip an event you RSVP'd for without a good reason. I made it clear I didn't consider his fraternity a good reason considering how long he'd known about the event. She said she talked to him, but I never heard back, so I was unsure if he was going to come. On the day of, he showed up late wearing a t-shirt, jeans, and a backward cap. My mom, still trying to be nice, said she was glad he was there, and he responded like I had a choice. He then stayed in his seat, not speaking to the people at his table or participating in the activities. About halfway through, we were taking a family picture and invited him to be in it. He said, "This isn't my family." My mom started crying and excused herself to the bathroom. I pulled him aside and snapped. I told him that if he didn't want to be in this family, he should get the fuck out. I said I was tired of dealing with his attitude and disrespect and pretending to like him and told him to leave. When my niece went to follow him, I told her that if she went with him, she should forget coming to Mexico with us. She didn't follow him, but made it clear she was upset that he'd been kicked out. The adults in the family sat down with her to air out our grievances about the fiancé, so she understood the extent of the problem, but she still defended him, saying we just didn't know him as well and that we made him uncomfortable. After that conversation, I told my husband I just couldn't act like nothing was wrong anymore, so we declined the RSVP to the wedding. She texted me asking why we said no, and I met her for coffee. I explained that I didn't feel I could support her marriage, that he wasn't a good person, and I felt like her independence and everything special about her was disappearing behind his expectations. She disagreed and told me I just didn't understand. She then told me that if I really cared about her, I should suck it up and come to her wedding. So, am I the asshole? Should we go to the wedding? Was I wrong for telling her in the first place? Update. My niece was raised in a Christian household and chose to maintain her faith while in college, where she lived independently on a scholarship and in student-subsidized housing with one roommate, away from her parents for 4 years. From what I understand, her fiancé is too. They don't live together and don't do overnights by their choice. She has returned to living with her parents because she is broke and unmotivated, and he lives in a fraternity house. Her parents also expect her to follow their rules, including a curfew, while living at home out of respect for the routine established for her special needs sister. While I agree with the assessment that he's setting her up to be isolated, they aren't currently in a situation or have the privacy for financial or emotional abuse. I also think he's a narcissist. She agreed to sit down and talk with me again, and I was able to better articulate my concerns for her future, what she is setting herself up for, and my concerns about him. We are still not going to the wedding. I explained to her that part of it is because I love her. Ultimately, it's supposed to be a special day for her, and with the way I feel about him, I would object to the union in front of everyone rather than privately. I told her that whatever she chooses, I am always specifically in her corner and that I hope she will still want to spend time with me and my kids. More than that, I want her to know she can come to me anytime for anything. For her sake, I hope I'm wrong about him. We did get her a few things off the registry that I knew were more for her than for him. She said she would think about everything, so we will see what happens between now and then. To the person who said they thought I didn't think it through about what this might mean for the future, I can assure you I did. My family means the world to me, and I don't want to hurt her or my relationship with her, but we got to the point where I couldn't stay quiet and pretend like nothing was wrong. Thanks to everyone for the input, it really helped me organize my thoughts and think through everything that's happened. Update 2. I honestly wasn't sure if I would have anything else to update after my husband and I decided not to go to the wedding, and I figured if I did, it wouldn't be until after the wedding. But holy hell was I wrong. I figured I'd share since so many people were invested and gave great advice when I needed it before. First off, my daughter and I ended up going to the bridal shower at the end of April. My niece asked me repeatedly to come, and I figured things would be relatively drama-free since the fiancé doesn't get to come to that. I asked in advance if she was sure she wanted my daughter to come since she is under 10. I was assured there would be other children there and that my niece really wanted her goddaughter there. On the day of, my daughter was the only child. One of my sister-in-laws even told me she was told not to bring her 3 daughters. The maternal aunt kept scolding my daughter for touching things, even though I was keeping an eye on her and she did no such thing. The mother of the groom asked if I was purposely trying to ruin the event, and the groom's sister said it was rude of me to bring her. I was ready to just walk out, but the bride's 19-year-old sister took my daughter to play in her room upstairs. My other niece, who took her upstairs, has special needs and said she was feeling overstimulated, but the bride was still upset that she didn't stay downstairs for the whole event. The bride never even said hi to my daughter, making her feel very sad when we went home. We played those "How well do you know the bride" games, which I won, prompting my niece to say that I was basically her best friend, causing an awkward silence as the room became confused as to why I wasn't in her wedding party. An extra special surprise for me was finding out that all the groom's sisters are in her bridal party, but her best friend and her own sister are not. About a week later, we got together to celebrate my dad's birthday. When my mom invited them, the fiancé responded, "If I don't have anything better to do, then I might come." My mom didn't hear anything else, so she assumed he wasn't coming. When he showed up, she had to set a place for him, prompting him to play victim, saying we don't want him around. He then had to be asked to put his phone away at the table while we were all eating, and no one else had their phones with them. The final straw for my parents was twofold. They asked about the rehearsal dinner because you'd think the grandparents of the bride would be invited. They were told it was wedding party only. I later found out through other people that the groom's grandparents were going to the rehearsal dinner because they came from out of state and wanted as much time with the grandkids as they could get. I kept that tidbit to myself because I didn't want my parents to be more hurt than they already were feeling. They then had the audacity to ask my parents to hang out with the bride's sister since she doesn't do well staying at home alone and they would all be busy at the dinner. The second thing was that the bride asked my mom what she'd be wearing to the wedding, specifically asking if she was going to buy a new dress. My mom said she wasn't buying something new because she already had a nice dress. My niece responded that my mom dresses old-fashioned and frumpy and that she didn't think anything she already had would be appropriate for the wedding. My mom told her she was being rude, but that she would give her the benefit of the doubt because planning a wedding was stressful and sent her a picture of the dress. She then told my niece that she had gotten it for her best friend's daughter's wedding and had only ever worn it that once, so my niece hadn't seen it before. My niece responded, "I guess it's okay." My mom felt very defeated and my dad had had enough. He responded on their behalf with, "From our various interactions, it does not seem that you want us to be participants in your special day. Your grandmother and I will no longer be attending your wedding." They returned their wedding gifts. My husband and I decided to do the same. From my side of the family, the only ones going are 2 of my 5 siblings, one because it's his daughter and one because his wife is playing guitar during the ceremony and he did not want her going alone. She does piano or acoustic guitar accompaniment for special events professionally and had committed before the bulk of the drama happened. She did not want to harm her professional reputation by backing out last minute. That brother has let everyone know that they will not be staying past the ceremony, that his kids are hanging out with Grammy and Gramps, and that he is going full petty by wearing jeans, a t-shirt, and a hat, just like the fiancé did to our parents' 50th anniversary celebration. That's all I've got for now. I don't know what else could happen at this point, but I'll keep you updated. Beach Pellini said, "This is going to crash and burn within the next 5 years, with at least one toddler along for the ride, if not 2 or more. I can already tell." Anne Boleyn's sixth finger said, "There was a very brief mention of the OP's deceased husband and his life insurance money. How tacky is that? Hey, cousin, I know you have money from when you lost your husband at a tragically young age. How about you give me that money so I can have a wedding and a husband of my own, also young and tragic?" GYN Asen said, "That's a lot of words for the OP to still not fully realize how much her niece just sucks on her own." Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.